All right, guys, so there it was. We packed our ruck, we got our feet ready. I showed you the equipment that I use before I step off. Now it's time to go hit the trail, see how many miles we can get in today, see what it feels like, and see if there's any issues that we find that we can fix later for the next ruck. In this, while we're walking, there's a couple things we could talk about, but how I shift my weight from my cummerbund to my shoulder straps is gonna be a big one. So if I leave it all shoulders, at some point my shoulders are gonna start killing. So I'll jump up, tighten my cummerbund, and then you'll see that it takes all the weight off my shoulders. So then at some point my hips will start hurting, and then I'll just go back and forth, and that's how you do it. And then you just walk and walk and walk. And we can talk about pace and all that shit, and we'll try to show you when I step out what it looks like with my short legs, and how I, if it's a time crunch, how I like to run with my ruck on my back and things like that. So let's do it. Guys, I know we're supposed to be rucking, but I found this. So when you guys ask about draw monsters a lot, this isn't necessarily a draw right here, but this kind of vegetation is very similar to what you're gonna see in North Carolina in selection. So when we say avoid draw monsters, we're not fucking kidding. Your point could be on the other side of this vegetation, and this will run for like, half a mile. It'll be super thick, whatever that draw, however long and big that draw is. And watch what it's like to try and get through this. And keep in mind that my ruck isn't even full. So my ruck will be a lot wider than it is now. But at night, trying to push through this stuff, and it's got thorns. It's a fucking nightmare. So that's why you need to avoid this stuff at all costs. You're gonna get eaten up, the draw monster is gonna get you, and you're gonna be stuck in this shit for potentially hours. And trust me when I tell you, I'm not kidding, hours people have been stuck in stuff like this. So avoid it. Fucking vines, gosh damn. All right guys, so in selection you will have water crossing. Scuba Road is a notoriously shitty water crossing. The thing that sucked about it for me, first of all, I was like guppying to try and breathe, but the worst part was getting to the other side and having that thick ass vegetation like that and getting stuck in that. It took me a fucking hour to get through the vegetation once I got to the other side of Scuba Road. So do your best. Sometimes you just gotta wing it, but do your best to try and, if you could see across, pick something with some light vegetation and make that your target, because it gets thick and it sucks. You get stuck in it. So guys, in selection, a lot of times when you're land navving, you're gonna come across roads like this to where they look like they're pretty established roads, but they're actually not even on the map. So don't just come up to the first road that you see and you're like, this is my road, this is it, and start handrailing it or whatever. Always check the azimuth on your road. So to do that, you're just gonna pull out, you're gonna go to your map and you're gonna use your protractor to see the azimuth that your road shoots. So it's 180 degrees, whatever. And then you're gonna jump onto the center of your road. Remember, you can't walk your road, but you could stand on the road. So stand on the road and shoot the azimuth of the road. And if that road doesn't say 180 degrees, then you know you're on the wrong road. So quick and easy way to check to make sure you don't just start chasing down the first road you see. Because there's a lot of things like this in selection that they look like roads and they're ended up just being trails that cadre have used so much that they look like roads, but they're not. All right, just a little tip. When people point, they're pointing at stuff like this. These branches coming out of the ground, you'll kick these, you could break your toes, trip your ass up, they suck. So what you're gonna do is, as you're walking in formation with a bunch of guys, help them out, just point at it. You don't have to say shit because you're still trying to be quiet and tactical. All you do is a point, and then everybody, as they pass it, will do a point, so then you know not to trip over whatever obstacle it is. All right guys, real quick, came across a little bit of a puddle. Not a big deal. Just don't try to be that fucking guy, the cool guy that's just gonna run through the puddle. You do not want your feet wet. Keep your feet dry for as long as you possibly can. In selection, there's gonna be water crossings where you have no choice but to get soaking wet, and it sucks. You'll dream of the days that you were still dry. So go around the puddles of water the best you can. Keep your feet fucking dry. I promise you, you'll be happy you did later. All right, so we're just over 5 miles. Just stopped real quick to have a snack. Typically we wouldn't stop to have a snack. That's why you keep this in your pocket. You just pull it out, rip it, and keep walking. The last thing you want to do on long rucks is start taking a bunch of breaks. First of all, time, and second of all, your body starts to cool down, and then you get all crampy and feeling like shit. But we had to stop for some camera adjustments, so eating my quick snack. Gonna keep drinking water. Always be drinking water. Don't wait till you're thirsty, because by the time you get thirsty, it'll be too late. I'm not a huge fan of these boots anymore. My fucking pinkies feel like they're gonna, my pinky toes feel like they're gonna come out, so probably has some bleeding by the time we get back for sure, and definitely some adjustments gear wise to make. Yeah, fuck you and your mom's house. All right, finally, we get to turn around. Are you on?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. There's something, being rucking and doing a lot of miles, that's why I like to do the ultra marathons back, a while back, is the mental game is what really gets the best of you. So keep that in mind when you guys are out here rucking for long periods of time, or you're in selection. The mental game is the worst part. So for us, we're at 3 hours and 14 minutes to hit 10 miles. To stop and film and stuff like that slowed us down. But just knowing that we're walking away from the car for 3 hours and 15 minutes, the mental aspect of that is a pain in the ass. So now we have 10 miles back to hit our 20 for the day, but I just am happy to turn around. I don't even care about the next 10 miles right now. I just want to be headed back towards the car so we can go get some food and eat a bunch of it and then have a beer. So let's go. All right guys, so we're at 12.6 miles, 4:06, 4 hours and 6 minutes. Let me turn this off because this phone is going down. And yeah, starting to feel it. Definitely haven't rucked in a long time, and just goes to show that you have to train for this. It's like my feet feel it because I haven't done this in a long time. My shoulders and my hips don't feel too bad, but mostly it's in my feet. So I take back my previous statement about highly recommending these Nike boots because they feel like shit. But we're almost there. Just got to hit that 20 mark, go get a bunch of burgers and beer. So let's keep moving. All right, guys, so we're 15 miles in. Here's our sign. We're headed to lot number 1. So we got 5.1 miles left to go. And I'm gonna be honest with you, at this point, it's just all mental. Feet are on fire, back hurts, hips hurt. This is that point where you just gotta shut off your brain and stop thinking about the pain and just keep moving. The fastest way to get through it is not to quit, it's to just get it done. So we got 5 miles left. We're gonna go crush that shit, and the whole way I'm gonna be thinking about cheeseburgers and beer. So that's my tip for you guys. Once you start getting this high mileage, just learn how to shut it off. Your body's gonna be screaming for you to stop. You just gotta keep moving. Oh, dude, my feet. I took a step, and I could feel my whole bottom of my foot, like my heel, like a blister, like open up and start to fill with fluid. And I was like, damn. And that hurt for about, I'd say 100 yards or so, and then it started to go numb. And now my feet are pretty numb, but it just goes to like numb and then a lot of pain, and then it numbs out for a little bit. But I'm not doing so hot. This is rough. I'm just so happy that we're finally almost done. How are you feeling?
Like shit.
This is the longest movement Abel's ever done. Before this was this half marathon. So yeah.
This is considerably worse than that half marathon.
Yeah.
Simply because it takes so much longer to cover the distance.
Yeah.
At least when I was running, I knew that it was going to end, and those mile markers were coming up much faster.
Yeah.
But now, it's like when we pass a mile marker, we're walking and hiking the whole thing. So it just takes so damn long to get to another one.
It just goes to show that Green Beret, not Green Beret, future Green Beret, like, you're gonna be in pain. This shit just sucks. Rucking is fucking hard and it hurts. And at some point, you're just gonna have to shut your mind off and keep pushing. Quitting is not an option. For us, literally quitting was not an option. It was either the car or call 911 or something. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, so you guys need to have that mindset in selection. Like, quitting's not an option. And it felt like the longest day of my life. But look, we're here. We finally made it. Thank God. Oh, that was painful. So 45 pounds rucked, and we just rucked 6 hours and 40 minutes. We went 19.95 miles. And you would think I would David Goggins that shit and just like run to that post and back to hit 20, but fuck that noise. 19.96 is where we're gonna end it. Hope you guys learned something from that sometimes you just gotta shut your mind off and push through the pain. I could not be happier to be done with this day. All right, so I just want to show, like, at least on this foot. So there's a blister, and then this whole back part of my foot is all blister. So it hasn't filled up yet, but all that will fill up by tonight, and that's just gonna be one giant blister right here. And then probably you see the discoloration there. That might swell up later, but at least for sure that whole bottom of the heel is gonna be a blister right there. And then that one ripped. And it's the same on my other foot, the right side. I could feel it. I could feel it fill with fluid as soon as it popped. All right. Yeah, see? That's just all blister. Oh. I felt that like disconnect, and my foot like slid in its own in the skin, and I could feel that just fill with fluid.
So you want to ruck.
I did exactly what I told you guys to be careful of, and I kicked the stump so fucking hard that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose my big toe on the right. But we're done. Yay!